West Georgia Technical College, Competitive Selection Process 2013 through 2014. Healthcare Science, Physical Therapist Assistant Degree. For additional information and clarification, please refer to the 2013 to 2014 Student Catalog located on the WGTC website. New Student Orientation. All students, regardless of their program of study, should view the New Student Orientation online as soon as they are admitted to WGTC. Please access the link to the New Student Orientation from the WGTC website Advising Center page. This presentation you are currently viewing deals only with the competitive selection process for the Physical Therapist Assistant program, but the NSO deals with much more that will help you to be successful. What is competitive selection? Competitive selection is a process a student must go through in order to enter one of the following 8 degree and diploma level healthcare programs offered at West Georgia Technical College: Clinical Lab Tech degree, Dental Hygiene degree, Medical Assisting diploma, Physical Therapist Assistant degree, Practical Nursing diploma, Radiologic Technology degree, Registered Nursing degree, Surgical Technology diploma. Why is my program listed as Healthcare Science? As you take Level 1 courses, you are actually in the Healthcare Science program. Your intended future program is Physical Therapist Assistant. You must successfully complete certain courses, take an entrance exam, and meet all requirements before you enter competitive selection at certain times of the year. If you are selected for the PTA program, your program will change from HCS to PTA at that time. What classes are required for PTA competitive selection? English 1101, Mathematics 1111, Biology 2113 and 2113L, Biology 2114 and 2114L, Physics 1110 and 1110L preferred, or Physics 1111 and 1111L. Competitive selection will only recognize the first 2 attempts on the Level 1 courses. The higher of the 2 grades will be used. What additional classes are required prior to starting the program? ALHS 1090, Medical Terminology, Comp 1000, Introduction to Computers, Psych 1101, Introductory Psychology, Psych 2103, Human Development. Financial aid will not cover this course, as it is not part of the Healthcare Science program. Students should prepare to pay out of pocket for this course. And you must complete an Area 4 elective. Courses must be completed with a C or better. What entrance exam is required for PTA competitive selection? The Health Occupations Basic Entrance Exam Test 5, or HOBET 5. It is offered through our Community Education Department. See the website for a schedule and information. There is a fee charged for the test that financial aid does not cover. The applicant may take the test no more than 2 times in the 12 months preceding the application deadline, with a minimum of 30 days between retakes. What minimum scores are required for the HOBET? Reading 70%, Math 68%, Science of the Human Body 56%, and English or Language 59%. What other requirements must I meet to compete for the PTA program? You must be currently certified in CPR for healthcare providers. CPR Basic Life Support courses for healthcare providers are offered through the American Heart Association and may be taken through our Community Education Center. You must be currently certified in First Aid. First Aid certification can also be earned through our Community Education Center. What are the deadlines to apply for competitive selection for PTA for 2014? For the Coweta campus, the deadline is May 22nd, and the start date for the PTA program is fall semester, which begins in August. Note, all Level 1 requirements must be completed and paperwork submitted to the Office of Student Affairs by the Level 1 deadline to be eligible to apply for a program. How is the CS score calculated? The HOBET 5 comprises 35% of the overall score, and it is mandatory. The minimum scores for this exam are reading 70%, math 68%, science of the human body 56%, and English or language 59%. The 8 Level 1 core classes and labs comprise 35% of the overall score and are mandatory. The minimum GPA on these classes is 3.0. The 2 biology courses, didactic or lecture and lab, and the math course carry double weight in the GPA calculation. Extra points are optional. Students may earn a maximum of 3 extra bonus points. 1 point may be added for less than 6 months of full-time work experience in the profession of physical therapy. 2 points may be earned for 6 months to 1 year of full-time work experience in the profession of physical therapy. And 3 points may be earned for more than 1 year of full-time work experience in the profession of physical therapy. If an initial review of the file review request indicates that the student has completed all the minimum requirements, the student will be notified to complete the additional requirements on the next slide. Additional requirements. If an initial review of the file review request indicates that the student has completed all the minimum requirements, the student will be notified to complete the additional requirements below. A voluntary physical therapy direct patient observation and/or work as a physical therapy aide. At least 3 different clinical settings with a minimum of 12 hours per setting must be completed by the published deadline and may comprise 10% of the process. Mandatory meeting with the PTA program director following hours of observation will include an on-site proctored handwritten essay on a topic in physical therapy and comprises 20% of this. How is the academic score calculated? A student receives points for each of the 8 Level 1 core classes and labs completed with a C or better. An A equals 4 points, a B equals 3 points, and a C equals 2 points. This number is then multiplied by the credit hour value for the class. Example, English 1101 is 3 credit hours. If a student made an A, he or she would receive 12 points, 4 points multiplied by 3 credits for that class. The 2 biology, didactic or lecture, and lab, and the math course carry double weight in the competitive selection GPA calculation. The total number of points received is then divided by the total number of points possible. That figure makes up 35% of the total score. Here is a checklist to apply for PTA competitive selection. Must be in good academic standing with the college and regular status. Must have completed all 8 Level 1 core classes and labs with a minimum grade of C on each, and a cumulative GPA of 3.0 on these classes. Must have completed or be enrolled in the additional courses required: ALHS 1090, Comp 1000, Psych 1101, Psych 2103, and an Area 4 elective. Must complete the HOBET 5 entrance exam and submit scores. Must possess current certification in CPR by the American Heart Association or BLS for the healthcare provider, and submit a copy of the current card. Must possess current certification in first aid and submit copy of current card. Must submit a competitive selection file review request to the Office of Student Affairs no later than the deadline date with all documentation attached. All transcripts supporting Level 1 coursework must be on file with the Office of Student Affairs. Must submit letter of verification for consideration of possible bonus points, if applicable. Letter must include dates of employment, job title, and a brief description of duties. Additional components that are not required by the application deadline. Additional components, PTA competitive selection. Following initial review of the CS documentation submitted, student may be notified to complete the following additional requirements. Document awareness of the job requirements of a physical therapy assistant through volunteer observation and/or work as a PT aide in at least 3 different clinical settings, with a minimum of 12 hours per setting. Applicants who currently work as PT aides must still complete the observation hours. Hours must be under the supervision of a PT or PTA and cannot be clerical work. Submit an observation recommendation form completed by the observation supervisor. Attend a mandatory meeting with the PTA Program Director following completion of observation hours. Complete a proctored, handwritten essay on the topic of physical therapy, completed while on site following the mandatory meeting. What if I am selected? You will be notified by the Office of Student Affairs that you have been selected. Directions will be given in the letter concerning your next steps. You should follow the instructions carefully. 11-panel drug screen and criminal background checks will be conducted for all program candidates. You will be responsible for associated costs. You should contact financial aid to determine your eligibility for the Hope Scholarship. The Hope Grant no longer applies when you move to a degree-level program. What if I am not selected? Look for areas that may need improvement to become more competitive for the next deadline. Or consider a different program that might not be so competitive. You may meet with an advisor to explore other programs offered at the school that are not competitive. PTA degree requires commitment. Once a student completes and accepts a seat in the program cohort, he or she is expected to commit to attending WGTC full-time, days, which will include at least Monday through Thursday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., and to making the program of study a top priority for the duration of the cohort. Accreditation. Graduation from a physical therapist assistant education program accredited by the Commission on Accreditation in Physical Therapy Education, the CAPTE, is necessary for eligibility to sit for the licensure examination, which is required in all states. West Georgia Technical College is seeking accreditation of a new Physical Therapist Assistant Education program from CAPTE. The program will submit an application for candidacy, which is the formal application required in the pre-accreditation stage. Submission of this document does not assure that the program will be granted candidate for accreditation status. Achievement of candidate for accreditation status is required prior to implementation of the technical phase of the program. Therefore, no students may be enrolled in technical courses until candidate for accreditation status has been achieved. Further, though achievement of candidate for accreditation status signifies satisfactory progress toward accreditation, it does not assure that the program will be granted accreditation. The contact information for CAPTE is as follows: 1111 North Fairfax Street, Alexandria, Virginia 22314. Phone number is 703-706-3245, and email address is accreditation@apta.org. For more information, please visit the Advising Center section of the college's website, especially the Healthcare Advising area. Read the section of the 2013 to 2014 online catalog regarding the PTA degree, program requirements, essential functions of a PTA, and the mandatory criminal background check and 11-panel drug screen. The link to additional information may be found under Academics at westgatech.edu. Thank you for viewing this presentation, brought to you by the WGTC Student Advising Center. Email us at advising@westgatech.edu. Please email your name and student number and the date and time of this session, and we will record and banner that you attended this session. Remember to use your student email account. We can also send you an advising plan at that time, or you can download the plan now from the Healthcare Advising webpage.